Welcome to Keith and the Girl. I'm Keith Malley,
And I'm Rojo Perez.
the great Rojo Perez. Where you at right now? You're in a hotel of some kind because you
Ooh,
don't keep your
I
place that clean, right?
yeah, come on. You don't think I have that many pillows where I live?
Or pictures or lamps or
It's
good to.
Valentine's Day. I
By the
had to
way,
spruce it up.
happy Valentine's Day. Where are you right
Happy,
now?
Happy Valentine's. I am in Virginia Beach doing shows all weekend at the Funny Bone with Tone Bell.
Okay, two of my favorite people, Rojo and Tone. In fact, again, they begin the Dad Emails book. True story. KeithandTheGirl.com/dad. If you don't know what I'm talking about, the story of catfishing my dad. After my dad wrote to my ex-wife behind my back, I pretended I was her. He started hitting on her, aka me. And this is the book with guests that were on talking about it. And you're making the correct face, Rojo. That is the face to make. It's such a disgusting story, and I'll tell you why I bring it up again. I might get riled up. People that like to hear me get riled up, I think you're in for a treat today because even if you might not be able to hear it, I do. And upstairs, they're finishing a construction that's been lasting for weeks. And you know, listener, how I get with the beeps and the bonks. And while I'm going to talk about my dad, he wrote me again. And I'm going to talk about hate mail that I got. And I'm going to talk about Kanye West and his Nazi T-shirts that he's selling, with bonks going on in the background. On top of that, oh, it's going to get heated today. It's going to get heated. How are you, by the way, when it comes to Valentine's Day? If when you are with somebody, are you a lover? Do you give a shit?
Um, yeah, I don't care too much, but I do. I care that I know they tend to care.
Okay.
Usually the person I'm with. But I do, man. I'm gonna tell you this. Just kind of newish started talking to someone,
Okay.
and she great people, very good, very fun energy. She's very low key, low maintenance, chill about everything. And
Oh,
usually I'm the laid back one. So I realize when you have two laid back, one of you's thirsty. So
right.
I come off. I look hella desperate because I've never been with someone so all like hands off.
Right.
But I sent her. I know she doesn't do Valentine's, so I sent her flowers yesterday,
Okay.
day before. And my idea was I sent them to work.
Smart.
Uh, my idea was she's gonna be the only one with flowers the day before.
Right. Clever.
There's going to be a little some saltiness. That's
Hmm.
part of, I think, the fun of it. I get some credit, and then I don't have to pay day of prices,
Smart. Do you,
right?
but do you have to be clear that you didn't fuck up? You know what day Valentine's Day is. Like, do you have to worry
Sure,
like she
sure.
thinks you're
And
an
that, no,
idiot?
no, no.
Okay.
That's funny because I definitely put in the card. I'm aware it's not the fourth. Like there was a reference
Right.
to the day, so
Okay.
that does. I didn't think about that, but that does mean that I think she can think I'd be this
Right.
dumb.
How long
So,
has it how long has it been so far? I was with my girlfriend now, Liz, for a little over a year, but we both just talking about it recently. We both deliberately didn't talk about the first Valentine's Day because it did seem early. Are you
no, we didn't talk about it. There was no like at no point was there like a hint of being like, oh, I'm gonna be alone for it. Like there, it wasn't
right,
that. It was this is just me making a low gesture.
right.
Uh, Sent it, and I get a text yesterday that goes, "Hey, thanks for the flowers," and that's
Okay.
the extent of the text. Dude,
Okay.
I get it. I didn't get an exclamation point. I didn't want much, but I go, at least tell were any of the other workers,
Jealous.
were they salty? Yeah, give me
Yeah.
the story. I hear so much shit about stuff in your day.
Right.
This you're not gonna give me the
Right.
story? And I was like, I can't even get a nip photo. I
Right.
can't see nothing.
She texts back,
Selfish.
got him.
Yeah, like it was like it's a regular package. Like the shit was just laundry detergent. Yeah. It showed up.
I dated somebody and she said Valentine's Day is very important to me. I'm like, oh my God, I can't wait to see what you have planned. That's awesome. Fantastic. Great.
Finally, some of the pressure off of me.
Yeah. I'm reading a news article here. about a love hormone spray, and it's to ease loneliness for people who, especially around this time, feel alone and jealous. A spritz of a love hormone might be the key to easing persistent feelings of loneliness. A team of European and Israeli researchers tested whether oxytocin, is it oxytocin? One of them. Uh,
Oxytocin.
the hormone released when people bond, hug, or feel connected could help bridge the gap for those struggling with social isolation. The result, a nasal spray of Oxy, significantly reduced acute feelings of loneliness in participants, especially during group therapy sessions, even months after treatment. In the study, 78 dorks, men, let's see, 78 men and women were given a dose of Oxy 30 minutes before their weekly group therapy sessions. While the hormone didn't drastically impact long-term measures like generally perceived loneliness, quality of life, or stress, participants who received the Oxy reported feeling less lonely in the short term when compared to a placebo. Notably, those who got an extra dose of the hormone also found it easier to bond to others. Oxytocin was able to strengthen the positive relationship with the other group members and reduce acute feelings of loneliness right from the start, said a faculty member. It could therefore be helpful to support patients with this at the start of psychotherapy. Can you love bomb yourself? Like you see somebody like going crazy. What are you doing? I'm gooning. Okay, relax.
I'm a.
This fake person doesn't love you that much. Calm down.
It's just I've purchased hormone cologne. I'll be upfront about this. I'm a
Okay.
firm believer. I had to stop buying it. It was working too well.
Oh yeah, like from The
Keith,
Rock or something or what?
no, it was not. Nah, okay, well, it's a real legit company. It got
Okay.
stars and everything. It is. I had to stop. I mean, I would mix it with my regular cologne. It was too much for a summer.
Do you think so
New
for
York.
real?
I mean, I really think. I mean, I do think it got a little in there. I do, but I do think it adds a little more to you. It's like they say, if you go out with new clothes,
Right.
you tend to like
I see.
your energy's up a little, like you're a little more confident. So I think the spritz does that for people.
Right.
But I had a yearly subscription. I canceled it 3 months in. I go, guys, I am dehydrated. I need
Do
you to stop sending me this.
I like to picture your girlfriend now is like, hey, you get rid of that fucking bottle. There's no need for
Yeah,
that
yeah.
bottle.
I like you average just like you are.
Right. I saw the Daily Show put out some memes about Valentine's Day. A picture of Elon Musk giving what I think is obviously the Nazi salute. It has that and it says, "My heart goes out to you." Donald Trump, hey girl, you looking to make some hush money tonight? RFK Jr., our new health czar. There's no safe, effective vaccine for my love. And a picture of Marjorie Taylor Greene. Even the Jews can't control my love for you. That's a world you gotta laugh. I saw there's a Republican in Georgia, Earl Buddy Carter, and he introduced a bill that would enable Trump to purchase Greenland. Greenland never asked, but there's a bill out there now to get the process started and to rename Greenland. I'm not joking. Red, white, and blue land.
Yeah.
Doge can't fire him.
Is it?
What the
Isn't
fuck?
there also isn't there a bill going? There's a few bills that right now, like it really feels like they're just going. Let's see how much crazy shit we could fill the airtime with.
Right,
We got all these years and no one to argue with now, so we
right.
got to fill it up with something. Because there was the other one about the Gulf of Mexico, and then
Changing the Gulf of Mexico to Gulf of America and Google Maps and a couple others. If you look now, no joke, it says Gulf of America.
yeah, they're already building the roller coaster and the shooting range.
Right.
That's going to be the biggest water mall we've ever seen in this country.
Google Calendars, again, totally true. Google Calendars took off Black History Month, Women's History Month. There's no Pride Month. Guess what's still there? Monday, President's Day somehow still made the cut. But, all these things that help you remind what we've been through as a country, they're off the calendars. That's crazy. This is happening. It
We're
seems
done.
inconsequential. I think it's very consequential.
Now, I think when you have the four most powerful people all just bending down to him,
Yes.
you guys control him. What happened? Like, it's such a
Yeah.
weird thing of being like Meta, Amazon, Elon, Google, like you guys run it.
It's all of them. Whatever happened to monopoly
It's
rules? Like the rules about not having a
yes.
monopoly. This
No.
all the all the social media press, let's say, is on the president's side. That's an alarm. That's a fucking alarm. And you may have saw recently Elon Musk making a power move wearing a t-shirt and a suit jacket in the White House, as opposed to a suit and tie. Uh, it brings his bring
Why is he carrying the kid around like he's never carried the kid around? Either
right.
this kid's way too big to be on he could walk. The kid got to be able to stand on 2 feet by now.
Yes.
It's
Yes.
not Disney World. This was the goofiest fucking. It looked like a Madame Tussauds of the president and the dad with the son
Right.
doing a press conference with the statue of a president.
Elon's with the sun, and like it's the sun's like made out of jello and is slipping out of his hands, but at the same time crawling up his shoulders like a ferret. It's very unnerving. And then, and I don't have the quotes in front of me, but assume that I'm not paraphrasing too badly. The kid knows that his dad is in charge and not the president. And the kid is like, "Shut up, old man," to Trump, and it's like that means you hear that at home. Okay.
It definitely has the vibe of the stepson who married in.
Mm-hmm.
And now you go. We trying to take the old man out back and
Right.
shoot him. And the new stepson guy. I haven't seen his real kids
Right.
in months.
The kid's going through like the drawers, like just grabbing a pen. Don't worry about it. Holy shit! And this kind of goes, who else does Trump love? Kanye West. Kanye West put out. Now they said Super Bowl commercial, but I didn't see this at my Super Bowl party, so I'm not sure about this part. But an $8 million commercial, which is what he paid for it supposedly. But it's just Kanye at a dentist office with a cell phone going, I can't believe, can you believe it? I spent $8 million on this. Anyway, go to my website, Yeezy.com. If you went to Yeezy.com, which I did, it's a store, like a Shopify store, and it sells one product, and it's a white T-shirt with a Nazi symbol.
Mm-hmm.
Oh. And then it makes the news, of course, but not before at $20 a shirt. And this is important, $20 a shirt. That means you're trying to sell it. You know what I mean? You want people to buy it for $20 a shirt.
If it was a Yeezy brand, it would be $200.
Right. And if it was asshole art, it would be $2,000.
Yeah.
You wanted people to buy it. He sold, let's see.
That's funny bone prices. That's what I sell T-shirts for when I come do a weekend at the Chuckle Hut or whatever.
I don't think an impulse purchase should be a Nazi shirt. He sold 100,000 shirts. Quick math, that's $2 million before the website took it down. And now if you go there, real written sloppy, obviously like he just drew on it. It says Yeezy store coming soon, heart and a heart. You can probably see that right now on there.
But the shirt, did they put the shirt back up?
The shirt is off, and he's just telling you there'll be a store soon. Apparently, I have to be behind it. It can't be a third party.
Yeah, man. I mean, that's a great little startup. You start at $20 a pop, you up to 2 million. Now you can really spread this.
Right. He's like, why am I giving Shopify a cut?
Yeah, I don't
of
need
my Nazi gold.
Watch me go to Etsy. Fuck the whole game up.
Those who followed the website found just one item, the white T-shirt. So it's just the Nazi symbol, nothing else, just big and bold. The code label on it when you order it is HH01. Code for Heil Hitler, says the Anti-Defamation League on some code. I've wanted to make this T-shirt for years, said Kanye West on X. By the way, X deleted his account. So Elon Musk, who gave the Nazi salute, is like, dude, you're being too much. Somehow I can say
After
I'm
after
autistic.
after the song, after the shirt, they deleted his account.
Yeah, I've wanted to make this T-shirt for years. So yes, he wrote before the account was deleted. So that's
Oh
related. So
wow.
yes, the answer is yes. He said that's my greatest performance art piece thus far. Well, good art disturbs, right? A close friend of Ye told the Post on Monday that everyone in the inner circle tried to stop him from selling the swastika shirt, including his wife, Bianca Sensori, who has stood by her husband amid his many controversies. Can you imagine, like, hey,
Who was the friend? Adolf?
right, hey, hey, honey, what do you think about this Nazi shirt? Yeah, that's disgusting and too far. Right, but we're a couple, but we're still separate people, right? Like, I think I'm gonna do it, sweetheart. So he does it, of course, and now supposedly because of that, she's leaving him and getting a divorce. This is the woman that was just at the Grammys. She was, in a see-through, like naked.
Yeah, I didn't recognize her. I saw a photo with shirt and pants on. I go,
Right,
who's this?
right. They're going out their separate ways after 2 years of marriage. She had enough, said somebody. The swastika shirt that was selling was the last straw. I can see that doing something to a relationship. She told him that's not who she is. Can you imagine you have to say that? That doesn't represent me. I know we're separate, but and that she can't be associated with that. He's saying that he has dominion over her and that he's selling those shirts. It reflects on her, and she doesn't want that to be part of that. She doesn't want to be part of that circus. The insider notes, however, that Ye believes Sensori will, quote, come back to him at some point, as she has in the past, and that divorce is not currently imminent. He's saying that she's just mad at him. She's just mad over the swastika shirts. She's just mad at that
She
Nazi
wanted a
shit.
shirt with flowers on it. And I
Right.
brought this home.
And I see her point. Like, why not flower shirt and a Nazi shirt? But I just want to focus on this right now. I don't want to give people options. He's saying that he's saying she's just mad at him, but right now she's told him that she's completely done. At some outlets report that Ye 47, Sensori 30. Okay, only a 17-year difference. Okay, have already settled on a post-marital agreement in which Sensori will be awarded $5 million. Well, he just made $2 million on a Nazi shirt. He'll be okay, and be permitted
How
to
was
stay in his house. What? Be permitted to stay at the Yeezy founder's $35 million house in Los Angeles. Does he get to come and go too? That's not worth it.
I mean, I think this is where I go. If I'm weirdly not on his side, but if
Right.
you staying in my house, I walk in whenever.
Right.
35 million, it's not a studio. We're not gonna run into each other. I think I could come and go and not be an issue.
Since then, Ye has gone on a series of anti-Semitic rants, calling himself a Nazi and saying Hitler was so fresh, and went so far as to sell swastika merchandise on his website. The runaway rapper was also been accused of making he did it, of making anti-Semitic remarks to a former Jewish employee and openly praising Adolf Hitler. He's been dropped by his talent agent as well. Ye was previously married to Kim Kardashian from 2014 to 2022. She doesn't mind Nazi shit too much. The two share 4 children, North, Saint, Chicago, and Psalm. Yeah, it's always the religious weirdos, right? Now, if I want to see Skeet Davidson do the funniest thing, right? You know what I mean? Go out with her. See if she's into it.
How weird is it to go, man? Kim dodged a bullet.
Right? Right.
What a wild life to go. You
Right.
got out of there, girl. You lucky. Keep the family together.
Mike Lawrence made a joke. This guy Kanye compares himself to Hitler, but Hitler was able to stay with his wife to the bitter end. That's a good point. He was the real deal.
Mike's a romantic these days.
That's
He
true.
got
That is
married.
true.
He got a sweet spot.
I was reading these Kanye tweets on the last show with that we did. It was with Abby Crutchfield, and by the way, on that show, I just had a Super Bowl party, and Abby was there, and I said, "Here's the guest, whoever was the funniest person at the Super Bowl party," and it was Abby Crutchfield. And Carrie Gravenson was there, and she said, "What the fuck?" And I'm like, "Oh no, I hope you heard the last week on Keith and Girl behind the scenes, where obviously that was silly and joking." And she goes, "Oh, I just checked. That's okay. I'm joking. I just had to see what was going on in the show because I saw a Reddit comment saying the show." You, Keith, were sexist and racist on that show. She had to see what's going on. This is the hate mail that she's talking about. It's from Thin Carpenter 808. And that's funny. That's Kanye's number, 808. And then I check, of course, and it's somebody's first post, a fake name, all this. That's how they like to do. All right. I was really taken aback by Keith. Oh, okay. So also, let me tell you this. I was talking about the Super Bowl, and during the pre-show stuff, the host would say, and New Orleans famous for their jazz, and let's bring out a great jazz band. And yeah, if you're in New Orleans, you get into that shit. But it's not like we have it on our playlist, right? And they knew that in this pre-show because the band would come out. It's always Saints Go Marching In. 5 seconds later, they cut to commercial every single time. So I just thought it was interesting, right? I was really taken aback by Keith's hot take about Black New Orleans jazz during Black History Month. Well, first of all, Black History Month is over. Okay. So, especially the way he seemed to devalue its history while speaking to a black woman guest. It felt incredibly obtuse and disrespectful. On top of that, the title of the show, Not Like Us, feels particularly odd and almost appropriative given this context. It just doesn't sit right. Wow, keep confused. Oh, here comes another letter. The Kendrick song, of course. And also, by the way, in that title, it's Not Like Us, and then parentheses, Fly, Eagles, Fly. Well, what am I, a fucking bird? How dare. Between this and the recent use of slurs typically targeted at the queer community, what? It really feels like Keith has no idea about his responsibility to the community he serves. It feels like he's just throwing things at the wall to see what sticks and occasionally gets something right by accident. And I said, my hot take was that they would introduce the music, then cut to a commercial. That happened. But let's talk it out. What's your favorite New Orleans jazz song? And the slurs against the queer... What's your name? 3. And slurs against the queer community? Baby, I'm nation as the day is long. Shame on you. So they said, I've listened to jazz in New Orleans, danced, enjoyed the community and others of the vibe, all without knowing the names of the songs or the artists. Me too! I've been in New Orleans, and I've had the gumbo, and I did dig the jazz. What the? It's not on my Apple playlist. This is... People are they're oddly sensitive to music or movies that they like if I don't like it too. We were talking about this the other day on a wrap-up show, but somebody gave me 2 stars on Apple Podcasts, giving me a rating and said, because they didn't like that I said when Meatloaf passed away, I was a Meatloaf fan. His acting, his music, I was into both of them. I don't like he was anti-vax. And this person somehow hears I don't like Meatloaf and goes, you know what? Me and my husband shared the song together by Meatloaf, and that was our song. I'm like, I'm not shitting on your love. I don't like he was anti-vax.
We were raised 5 days a week. We ate meatloaf in the house.
Right.
You honor.
I remember the woman said, you know what? Our favorite song, we were in a car on a date, and we loved Paradise by the Dashboard Light. I'm like, first of all, you fucking idiot. That's not a lovely song. In the song, he only marries the girl so that he could fuck her, and then he's praying for the end of time so he doesn't spend any more time with his wife. He's hoping to die because he already fucked you. That's your song. But yes, they take it very very personal. Just because you don't like something doesn't mean the world can't, or that they're lying to you if they claim otherwise. When's the last time you in your house, not in New Orleans, played one of those jazz songs? I'd love to know. Liar. It's a fun attempt at this deflection, but you've shown too much of your ass here for that to work. I called it all in my initial post. You'll dismiss or gaslight me. You said way more than just cut to commercial, and you're trying to falsely shift the narrative. You don't take responsibility for your community. You're downplaying your use of slurs. I guess when I read the Kanye things, I did say coon, but I would say N-word for that because I don't want to say C-word, but not that one. But I do want you to know what Kanye said. I don't know if that's what they're saying was too much. I didn't even address how you repeated that Kanye quote at her without censoring yourself. The level of ignorance is tragic. You appropriate yourself. You call yourself nation. Okay. All right. I'll tell you something. When I was on dating apps, And they said, what kind of woman are you looking for? They give you choices. I clicked transgender woman. So trust me, I'm not bragging. I'm just saying, pretty fucking nation over here. Okay. Okay. What the fuck is wrong with you? Say something. You didn't say nothing. You obviously want to embarrass me in front of people publicly. So say the anti queer stuff I'm saying. What is it? This
Do
person's
you
gonna be in my
invite
life forever. I fucking know it.
this is your new co-host.
Yeah. Yes.
This is gonna be the next 15 years of whenever they get up here.
You probably don't have the balls to have me as a co-host. Knew it.
You won't sign me to a 3-year exclusive deal.
You don't got the balls.
uh, I truly, the more you read that stuff, the less I think this is worth it.
Right.
Truly in life, any of
Right.
this. I go, this is so sad.
Right.
Yeah. To take that much time to write in, so because it's usually,
It's not going to be a conversation. You called me sexist and racist. It's not going to be a
and
conversation.
it's so rare when I see someone get offended for themselves.
Mm.
It's
Yes,
you, like
yes.
I never. It's always some
For the
fucking
community.
watcher by that's around that's on a
Yes.
stance, and that's the you go because that first one I know that's not a black person who wrote because you wouldn't frame it as a black guest.
Right.
You would say I'm a black dude, and like it wouldn't
Right.
be about Abby being here making it weird or making that weird. And this is like yeah, especially if you I don't, dude, it's gross. This is
It's
a
weird.
waste.
And then I know I said something like, where do you think it's gonna go? It's a real conversation. You're calling me sexist and racist. That's how we're saying hello. And this person wrote, sexist and racist. Those are your words. Like that's some clever shit you just said. And I'm like, well, then I guess there's no problem. What? Say something. Oh, I hate you. By the way, speaking of hate, I told you I got a letter from my dad. And again, keithandthegirl.com/dad, DAD. And if you listen to the VIP program, you'll hear, if you haven't heard this show, check it out. It's with my brother and it's called Daddy Issues. And if you ever think I'm exaggerating about my dad's tone or these stories, when you hear any of my siblings in the same cadence repeat the exact same story, you're like, oh my God, I'm not saying I doubted it, but whoa, this is real, you know? So Daddy Issues in your VIP program is so fun. And of course there's I do carry things bother me that my dad did. Like I know this hate mail is like, oh, you're trying to be weird and clever, but you're not saying anything. And for some reason, that reminds me of my dad. Even Wordle will remind me of my dad. The other day, the word in Wordle was goody, and I almost threw up in my mouth because if I would like say some joke and my dad got it, he'd be like, that's a goody. And I'm like, yeah, it was funny. What? It's like when somebody sighs, and I'm like, oh, fuck off. That's performative. Fuck you. So yes, there's a thing. He would when somebody like they don't come out and say what they want to say, it reminds me of my dad who would look through the newspaper and go, huh, and we're like, oh, who gives a shit? Will you look at that? And we're like, okay, what is it, Dad? Oh, are you curious? Like now we got to beg for the information.
A son who hugged his father. Crazy how they put it on the front page.
He printed it out and taped it to the front of the paper. Local boy hugs his dad.
Says, thank you for the sacrifice, father.
Right. We'd get up in the morning and he'd see us and quickly go, good morning. And we'd go, oh, good morning. He's like, wouldn't it be nice if you said that? I'm like, oh, good morning. He goes,
stand.
yeah. And he goes, let's try that again. And I'd have to go back in my bedroom, come out like it's the first time I woke up, and he'd have his back towards me, probably making a peanut butter sandwich. That's what I'm always picturing for himself. And then I'd go, oh, good morning, Dad. And then he'd turn around, shocked, quote, shocked, and be like, oh, good morning. What a nice surprise. Thank you. And good morning. And that's good enough for him. I dated somebody once and I didn't get him a card for Valentine's Day. I didn't think we were doing that. And that person was upset. And then it's the end of the night we live together, and it's the end of the night, and it's like, you still didn't give me a card. I'm like, oh, you're sick. Well, I thought, like, okay, this day's ruined, but I'll know for next time. So I go out, I get, here's your card. Thank you. Like, what the fuck? Am I dating my dad? No.
Dude, I have it drives me crazy. I have an aunt who will do that. That no matter if, and but she says it with a tone because I would
Right.
like you wait, you come out of the room or whatever, and it'll be like 10:30, 11, and she'll go, "Oh, good morning." And you're
Hmm.
like, "Bitch, don't get angry at me because I don't have to be up at 7. That's
Right.
not how my life work. I don't like your because the tone of the good morning never is like, hey, good morning.
Yes.
It's
Yeah.
never genuinely a good morning. It's
Right.
already a you're in fault morning.
It's those people that, like, let's say you go to the store even, and you're like, oh, can I get the a bodega, let's say. Can I get the glue behind the counter? It's like, good morning.
Oh, I do that though. That's me. I will do in stores. I will. Hey, how's it going? And if they won't, like, I'm so sorry. How's it going?
That
I
sounds
got
fun.
be a fucking person. That I will do.
Speaking of keithandthegirl.com/VIP, we do Rod and Karen last week on Keith and the Girl, where we talk about behind the scenes stuff that week. And we do True and A, where Newsy goes back on a certain day over the years that day. So it's the what, 14th today, February 14th. We'll go over what we talked about every year on February 14th. Anyway, somehow this story came up. I think it was with Rod. It was with Rod. And we were talking about my dad said that he worked at a Wendy's. He said he was a manager, but I don't think that's even how he was hired. But anyway, he got fired because so there's two stories. First, he got fired because he made the sandwiches too slow. He said he wanted to make them just perfect.
He was an
But
artist.
he was an
He wasn't a
artist.
subway. He was more of a subway boy.
Right, right. But also, when he did make the sandwich before he was fired, he said that people would get the sandwich and go up to him and say, "Who made this perfect sandwich?"
Your
And he,
dad's Donald Trump. He
yes,
truly is. The
yes,
stories are like that.
right. And he's like, everybody talks about why not try to get another job at another fast food restaurant? They'll go, the sandwich king is here, Mike Malley. And be like, this sandwich was made with such love, and we know the difference, and we're sorry that this restaurant doesn't understand. Quality is more important than time, and thank you so fucking much. And Rod brought up this point. It's interesting that at home he never made you a sandwich. And that is so true. If anything, it was peanut butter and jelly for himself. He never made us a sandwich, and he loves to show off. He tries real hard for us to admire him. But you couldn't just make us a sandwich. That's interesting.
Uh, hey man, once I quit comedy, I'm never going to do a joke for my kids. I'm
Right.
telling
Right.
you, I can't go back to the well. It hurts too much probably for him to
Uh,
know what could have been.
I'm gonna start making little videos based on these stories that my dad said. And there really is so many. Like, he said that he was a magician, illusionist, excuse me, illusionist. I'd have to go to bed early if I said that. An illusionist, and he was also a mentalist, and he would use his mental powers, he said, to prepare, I don't even know where he would make this up from, to prepare the American weightlifting Olympic team to beat Russia. How come we
Okay.
never saw the Olympics at home? How come we never saw weightlifting? None of this is interesting to us. But somehow, with nothing to back it up, because you'd think there'd be a plaque on the fucking wall in his office, he helped the Olympians win weightlifting. He never encouraged me going to the weight room. Interesting, which I did like to do as a kid. That's weird. But that's another thing that he was going to be on Johnny Carson, he said.
Dude,
And
pre-Google was a wild time.
it's crazy. Yeah,
Pre-Google, the world pre-Google was insane.
yeah. I wonder if he knew then. It's like, do you know we didn't invent fingerprints yet? Holy shit. He said, they asked me to be on Carson to do my magic, but I already booked a gig and I was only getting paid like $20 but at this person's house. But you know what? I made a promise. And so I said no to Carson. I'm like, oh, they couldn't rebook you? You were so wanted? 4 PhDs, he said he has.
I you tell me
You know that
that.
story. I still compare it to this, where if you see the TV show Agents of Shield, there's the one woman. She doesn't have superpowers, but her superpowers, she's a genius. They gave her two PhDs. This is Marvel that has Thor and the Hulk, but they thought, let's not do more than two PhDs. That would be ridiculous. My dad has four. Okay.
Will he bring these stories up outside of family gatherings?
Yes, he brought these stories are in the Dad Emails book. Again, you'll see the link at keithandthegirl.com/dad. And he was trying to impress Kat with some of them, but he was really writing me. He was telling a story where he was going to work for the Treasury, so he hunted down. None of these stories have details. He hunted down the head of the Treasury. It's always the head of something. When my mom was in hospice, he talked to the head janitor. When everything's the fucking head. And he goes, so I met the head of the Treasury. I found where he was eating. I introduced myself. He was enamored by me. He gave me tests to work to be that new head of Treasury. What? He's the In God We Trust, on the bills. And he he said, so I took tests.
You
and
know who I trust?
Right.
You, Mr. Malley.
And so he's like, I took a test on the Treasury, on government, personality, on ethics. And he says, and I passed them all with flying colors. But you know what happened? Ronald Reagan said, we're not giving out any of these jobs to non-military personnel. And it was it was done. It was over that easy. They couldn't find another place for him.
Can you I know these are very
sensitive.
Yes, I know you have a real spot for these stories. But have you thought at all, when the day comes that your father passes, when all these people show up to his funeral and retell these stories?
That'd be great.
100%. When you have the producer of Johnny Carson wheel in to tell this story, and you're like, God, he was the Dos Equis guy.
That would
be
the
most interesting man ever.
That would be so awesome. But when my mom did pass away, it's weird none of his buddies showed up to the funeral.
Showed up. Yeah.
That's interesting. In fact, what I think would be funny as fuck, and at the funeral would only be my siblings. He turned everybody away that half a friend, anybody my mom loved. He was a weirdo, and so he's a fucking weirdo. So nobody came to this funeral. Nobody would come to his. But I still think it'd be funny if I get people like you and other friends to be these people that make up the story. Be like, I had the best. Now this might sound simple, but it was the best goddamn fast food hamburger that I've ever had, and that taught me how you do anything is how you do everything. Rest in peace, Mr. Malley.
You go quarter pounder. He put 0.33 in there.
Right. He has a story that you can hear this on Daddy Issues. There's some stories you might never have heard if you didn't hear Daddy Issues. He said that he was the second, this is how he stays humble, the second fastest runner in the entire state of Ohio. How he knows this is because he was with the great Bernie Kosar of the Browns.
Yeah.
Now, these ages don't match up at all. But he ran, they were at some church function, and for fun, they ran. And Bernie did beat him, this great quarterback. But somebody else, beat Bernie. And so somehow he knows, my dad, he's the second fastest runner. Let me tell you something. When my dad would like to go for walks, and if we tried to kiss his ass to pick us up from school or something, you'd go on these walks too. The slowest motherfucker I've ever seen.
And he was running in church shoes. Imagine if he had tennis shoes.
He had wingtips.
Set the all-time record.
So just put me down for second fastest. I don't have proof of
I'm good
fastest.
for two. Yeah, I'm good for take about 0.4 off whatever they did.
He worked at a Sears. And he would say, and he always said the head of everything. He was the head. He knows the head of everything. He said he was head of the vacuum department. Now, maybe there's household goods, but there's not a vacuum department. And then when we were home and we would do our chores and I'd vacuum, he'd always stop and go, no, you go slow on the backstroke. As head of the vacuum department, I know that. I'm like, what the fuck? And then he has a story where he worked at Sears, and a teenager said, "Hi, I'm looking for a job. Can I have an application?" And supposedly my dad, who would have no right to do this, he said, "Okay, and here's an application. Is there anything else you would like?" And the kid goes, "No, thanks, just the application." And my dad goes, "Are you sure?" And the kid goes, according to the story, "No, but thank you." And he goes, "Now, if that kid asked me for a job, I would have given it to him right then and there." I'm like, this is a horrible story for you. This is crazy. So I'm excited to we're gonna make some videos. Me and Josh Accardo, he's gonna play my dad most likely, and then we'll do like quick minute videos because I do want to turn this into something that'll get juices flowing. And in the Keith and the Girl chat room every Wednesday, keithandthegirl.com/chat, 8 p.m. Eastern, we play poker and yap. And somebody came up with this idea where when we do little skits, it's a different person playing my dad every time, and he's dressed as if he's the person he's pretending to be.
Yeah,
The treasurer. He actually looks like Wendy. Like like that Bob Dylan movie where everybody's different. I think that'd be cool. I'm excited.
That's very funny.
So I didn't think I'd be hearing from my dad again, but I did today, Valentine's Day. And lately he'd say some like, it's Christmas, and some Jesus quote. He was a priest. Some Jesus quote, because even if we're fighting, because I said, "Dad, until you admit, here's a fucking book. I sent it to you, and I know you signed for it," not knowing what it was. So you know what I'm upset about. Just fucking admit it. Don't keep saying there's shit I don't know where you really did talk to Kat in real life, but because you're a priest, you have to keep that a secret. Like, I know, and we can't even pretend to talk or be superficial like we used to until you just admit this, and then I'll move on and we'll talk about the weather. That's all you have to do. And of course he won't admit it. And I'll write back like, "Until then, go fuck yourself," which cursing is a big deal in our family. You didn't do it. And I include all the siblings whenever I do this. They're probably like, "You don't have to include us." I'm like, "Yeah, but it feels important."
Yeah.
He has to know everybody knows, okay? So he wrote to me, to just me, "I do not know how you will take this." Well, I'll probably curse. "I do not know how you will take that." I mean, who knows with you? Right? Ask that girl on Reddit. Who knows with you? I bet you'll deflect. "I do not know how you will take this, but here goes. A friend of mine," okay, first of all, there's no friends. Promise. "A friend of mine knew how I was struggling with the matter of how I saw your attitude. And he sent me the following. Quote, remember one of our Lord's last 7 prayers on the cross at Calvary. Father, forgive them, for they know not what they are doing." Who's this friend? Jesus? Oh, yeah. The footprints guy. Yeah. I have never read the version that would say, if they apologize to me first, then I will ask you, Father, to forgive them, for they know not what they are doing. All is forgiven on my part. What about you? Oh, I don't know that's how apologies work, but okay. So I'm forgiven, by the way. All is forgiven on my part. What about you? Yes, I have sent the same thing to Ken concerning Ken. Ken I do daddy issues with, but he doesn't know that. And Ken's like, wait a minute. If what you did, writing a book and all this shit and tricking him and gaslighting him, that's a lot to forgive. Ken's like, what the fuck did I do?
Yeah,
and I'm like, well, once in a while,
long way to go.
Right, once in a while, you'll be like, what's this fucking second fastest runner story? Because I'm Googling shit and it doesn't match up. That's what Ken could be forgiven for in his version.
And it's the equal, but it's as equal.
It's somehow
it's
equal.
on par with everything you've done.
Right.
Yeah, poor Ken had a question. He go, wait, what day did you run again? Nope, you're with Keith. You're dead to me.
So, yeah, so that's good news. Like, no matter what I say, I am forgiven, right? That's good. But will he forget? Yeah, no. So I wrote, did you tell your friend that you tried flirting with my ex-wife and that you still denied it even after I showed you how I had it all in black and white, with you going so far as to say there's other conversations you had with her that I simply don't know about that you can't share? You forgive me? What's your friend's email address? We can all discuss this together. Quote, he knows not what they are doing. Believe me, I do know what they are doing. KeithandtheGirl.com/dad. And then I included everybody. So I'm forgiven. but we didn't make up necessarily.
That's pretty good because you got forgiven, so you got to start all over again.
Yeah, I can do
You go,
anything
now
now.
I can pile some more shit on.
Mm-hmm.
The other ones are in the past.
I'm gonna have Kat send them a Valentine's Day email. Are these preemptive forgiveness? Is it like a pardon?
You can't be charged twice for the same issue.
I forgot when my mom died. He wrote on the tombstone, Princess Kathy Malley rests here. And in the obituary, he wrote, you know why she's a princess? Because my dad is a prince. He's Byzantine Catholic, he says. And in whatever language, it's called Pawnee. Pawnee translates to prince. He's a prince. Therefore, mom's a princess, but let's focus on me being a prince. So the death date isn't there because he didn't die yet. But on the tombstone, it's a shared tombstone. He's a prince. Like the people in Somerset, Pennsylvania are going to go, I didn't know we had a prince here. I actually thought Keith's dad was a fucking weirdo that snuck into the school and looked through windows and bushes to spy on his kids. I didn't know he was an actual prince.
Also, apparently not very good at magic either. If everybody knew where he was hiding, that's terrible at this.
He does the John Cena hand in front of his face and somebody points him out. Hey, your weirdo dad's here. And then, man, there's so many stories. When he got mad at us, he'd say, you know what? I should have married the woman from a cruise ship. And he has this story that he was doing magic on a cruise ship, standing ovation from stern to bow. And he says, and this woman, and we didn't have any relationship. We didn't even hold hands, but she was a multi-millionaire. And she said to me, I'm in love with you. Come live with me. And I said, no, I'm married. And she said, please, I will take care of every need and want you ever have. And I don't need, I'm not interested in ungrateful children. And he goes, I should have done that. Like, we're going to feel bad. I'm like, I wish you did. One time we were arguing, like he didn't like everybody's attitude. And he left the house acting like he was going to leave our family and get his own apartment. And I'm old enough to know, like, there's no fucking way, you know. But my mom's like, can we just end this stupidity? So he
leaving flip flops. You're not moving out in flip flops.
Oh yeah.
Get back in here.
That 8 p.m. apartment showing. Okay. So my mom goes, I know, but I just don't want to deal with this bullshit. So she writes like some letter from us saying how sorry we are we don't even know what, to be honest. And we had to sign it. And I signed it, not my normal signature, just cause. I didn't think it'd show up in court, but just cause. And my mom's like upset because that's one more thing. Like, why didn't you just sign it normal? I'm like, who cares? This is dumb. I know, but can we just get it over with? And then he comes back and sees it. And then, he's magnanimous. Like, I will give everybody another chance. I'm like, okay, great. I remember like getting in trouble for something. I don't know what. And my mom wrote me a letter to slide under the bedroom door. And it said, to err is human, but to forgive is divine. And that made my dad go, well, I am divine. You are forgiven and I will take you to karate. Okay. All right. I'm divine. Okay. You did it. Yeah, I think these videos will be fun. And if you're new to the book, keithandthegirl.com/dad, the whole story is right there. And /dad book is that in my first book, The Great American Novel. But I'm excited. Anyway, Dad, thank you for forgiving me. You are not forgiven. But again, that's not how apologies work. And that was very, very sweet of you. How about you? I'm sorry. How about you? You've been in fights like this, right? Where somebody owes you an apology, they give it to you, and you go, okay, thank you. And they go, and I'm like, oh, it's a trick.
Yeah.
Because everything you said, how you were wrong, that's how you were wrong.
And most of the time it's like I was very ready to move on.
Yes.
Mentally, I was already done with this friendship.
Right. Absolutely right. Let me mention this, please. It's my buddy Neil Covert. He's sometimes in the chat pack when we do Q&A. He has a website, Neil Does Art, Neal doesart.com. It's photography and graphic design. I'm a fan. I think you'll dig it. It's fine art without the pretense. That's what I would say. But he has a great photography and drawings of animals, landscapes. I like these coasters he has where it's a duck head in the water, so just the ass is sticking out. I think it's very classy and I enjoy it. So take a look around. Do me the favor. NeilDoesArt.com. All right. And real quick, you know what? Let people know what else they should know about you. And then I want to say something. So if people don't want to hear it because it's a spoiler about Captain America Brave New World. Rojo, people want to see your stand-up. They want to know what you're up to. What should they know?
Please, yeah, follow me on all the socials. It's Rojo Perez with 3 Z's, nice and consistent.
Mm-hmm.
I'm in Puerto Rico next week doing some shows. I am in Cleveland the last weekend of the month with Brooks Wheelan at Hilarities. Check me out there. In May, I'm going to be in Denver. They're on the website. Please come hang out. And, Survival of the Thickest coming out at the end. I think it's March 27th.
We'll be ready.
Michelle's going to kill me.
We'll be ready.
It could be February 27th, but I think it's March.
Okay. Be ready 2. Now. Be ready now.
Watch season 1 again.
And it'll remind you also about season 2.
Yeah.
Perfect.
And please watch that.
Congrats. Perfect. So I saw the new movie, Captain America, Brave New World. I see every Marvel thing. Not really a fan of this. It feels long. I was a huge fan of The Falcon and the Winter Soldier. I thought it was so beautifully violent. But this one, I don't know. It doesn't, and I feel bad saying it. The person on Reddit's going to go a little nuts because I don't want to sound like my Captain America's white. You know what I mean? I'm like, fuck. It's like when there was an all-female Ghostbusters and it was horrible. And I'm like, I wish no.
Yeah, that was my Oceans feel.
Yeah, the Oceans
when they did 8, and you go, I really wanted to support. I tried. I swear, individually, I like all these women. Collectively, I never want to see them together again.
That's right. And the Ocean's 8 is funny because you remember who saves the day at the end and takes all the diamonds? The Asian guy. A man actually saved the day. Damn it.
Yeah, I'm not. I will. As this being the only Captain America I've ever met, I'm not gonna speak ill of this Captain. I mean, this is my Captain America. So I would say also go watch that. But I respect your opinion on how you feel about it.
It's not even, and he does a great job. And by the way, the powers are so good. The original Captain America never thought I should have wings too, and drones, and I guess he has the serum. Okay. But when that's
how you make sure you stick around. You go, give me all the gadgets. Give me everything that'll last till the Jetsons show up.
For Red Hulk being in the trailer and on posters, it's not till like an hour and a half in, and it's for like 10 minutes tops. And the two of them.
I can't imagine it would be so much because how much can Harrison do?
Right.
Like the
Even
real person.
Yeah.
He can't. Yeah. At this age, Harrison, like a child actor, he can only work 45 minutes a time.
Again, this could be a little spoiler. The two of them are fighting. You're like, okay, I guess both people are dead with what just happened. Then Captain America stands up and is like, okay, well. And then the Hulk stands up and he's like, not again. And then Captain America goes, hey, Hulk, I know you're in there. That'll move. I know you're in there. Come on, don't do this. Hulk is like, okay, I won't do it anymore. I'm like, fucking start with that. Because, man, it was a beating.
That's the side of Hulk we never knew. He's really understanding if anyone would just chat with him.
And they have another superhero cameo, like just pops in, says hi, leaves. We're supposed to be like, oh, and you do. You go, oh, shit, it's this guy. But it's so short, and it means nothing. Like, anyway, I have to go and leave. It's like, well, there's going to be more problems soon. Can we keep in touch?
As long as it's not Paul Rudd.
It's not Paul Rudd.
All right, good. Stop trying to tell me this doughy man as a superhero.
Right. Now, you can guess who it is, and I won't say, but why not give Bucky 2 magical arms? If one arm makes you, you can compete with Thor with one fucking arm, give him 2.
Imagine how good he'd be.
He'd be fucking great. And then of course, I stayed to the end credits, and the end credits is one of the bad guys in prison goes, oh, you wait. It's not just bad guys on Earth you have to worry about. Let me put it that way. There's more shit out there.
Oh.
But we're like, yeah, the multiverse. We know. I think somebody would have told the fucking Valken about the multiverse. I think word would have got around. When you know all the Avengers, I think you would have found out one way or another. 51% on Rotten Tomatoes. I can see that. I can see that.
Those numbers go up, baby. Our president got 48%. You think I'm gonna be embarrassed about 51? 51 fucking dominates.
Right. I think the last one I saw was 18%. Yeah, good for them. Good for them. Rojo, thank you so much for your time. Let's go over what we talked about. Of course, there's a love hormone spray to ease loneliness, and
Worth it.
Worth it. You're not gonna. People that are lonely are gonna try even less, right? To go out and meet people. It's like
That's the problem that the spray don't tell you.
Yeah.
You gotta leave the house.
Right.
You can't just wear it around your house eating Little Caesars. Like you gotta go meet.
I think you do it yourself, and it's supposed to, like, the love comes to you, and you're feeling somebody else's hormones. That's, and then, yeah.
Hey man, I'm no scientist. I'm just a user.
You're just doing 18 at a time. You like sniff it and whack off? You thought Afrin was addictive.
You have no clue when you love yourself.
Right.
What addiction looks like.
Elon Musk, Trump, Marjorie Taylor Greene, they're all Nazis. Ha ha ha. Kanye West, the t-shirt is now probably worth at least $25 if you bought it. Let's see. Bianca and Kanye broke up. They were not seeing eye to eye. All right. And my dad forgave me. This is a big fucking day. Probably the best Valentine's Day ever.
I can't wait to see who I play, which iteration of your dad I get to play.
I'm already
mentally getting in character.
Absolutely. And Captain America, what are you going to do? Not see it? Of course you're going to see it. All right. There we go.
See it.
Of course. Rojo, good talk. How did you meet Captain America?
I met him in New Orleans watching an NBA Finals game on TV at a bar. He, at the time, was working down there, and we have some mutual friends in common, and we go to the casino. He likes hanging around.
Did he get free drinks for being Captain America like he does in the movie?
I will say I do not remember paying for much.
Okay.
So in New Orleans, he is the Captain America.
Gotcha. Right. And that's why New Orleans is great. I didn't say it's not great. I've been there.
New Orleans gets it. And there was jazz everywhere we went.
Right.
They had Louis Armstrong playing.
Mm-hmm. Of course it's Louis. Yeah. The list goes on.
At the Franklin going.
Right.
They have Boom Boom Johnson.
Right. Info at keithandthegrow.com for all your hate mail. That's an easy way for me to see it. And of course, if you want to do a public like a douche, we're on Reddit and all that. And that's it. We'll talk to you soon.